What is good? We're back with the Madden 07 Titans franchise, and unfortunately, if you remember in the last episode, we fell to the New England Patriots. That cursed 1 seed. I mean, we've either lost the first game or gone on to do something special, and as you can see, I mean, they just outplayed us. We didn't have an answer for Lawrence Maroney. Chad Jackson's been a thorn in our side in this particular series. So it was just unfortunate. It's a team that we, played in the regular season and whatnot, and it just didn't work out. There's the results from the divisional round. As you can see, the Patriots made it to go play the San Diego Chargers. They fell to the Chargers. The Super Bowl is the Falcons and the Chargers. Falcons put it on the Seahawks. Wow. And the Seahawks, I mean, that was the team we handled in the regular season. And they went 8-8 and got into the playoffs and made it all the way to the conference championship. So, Falcons, Chargers, Super Bowl is in Miami. And I can't remember off the top of my head. I know Denver won the first year. I think San Diego won season 2. And then we won last year. So San Diego's going for their second Super Bowl, I believe, against Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons. Really makes you wonder, because the Chargers would have had to come play us in Tennessee, and as you can see, the Chargers win the Super Bowl. So that's cool. Michael Vick put up a valiant effort. LT, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. Roddy White, 11 for 99. And a bunch of guys chipping in right there in the receiving end. Woolfolk is with the Falcons. He used to be with us on season 1, if you guys remember. And he's with the Falcons. They didn't win the Super Bowl, unfortunately. So Vince Young's bringing home the MVP, his first. So we had the MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year. LT was the runner-up. Michael Vick, number 3. Lavernius Coles, number 4. Big Ben, number 5. He's over with the Chiefs. So Thurman is the defensive player for the Bengals. And this looks like a breakout year for him. Keith Brooken got banged up. He had a good year. Sermon, 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year. That's our guy right there. I mean, let's see. He didn't even get in. How do you finish 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year and you don't get in the Pro Bowl? He had more picks, more fumble recoveries. Sacks was about the same, and tackles went up for sure. And, I mean, he was a good player for us, It's just I felt we had some guys, Stephen Tolick that could step up. And then we drafted Atkinson. And, we kind of accomplished what we did, winning the Super Bowl. And I felt that we could move on from some players and whatnot. Unfortunately, looks like this team was not as strong as this season before. And that's pretty clear. Roos got Offensive Lineman of the Year, Michael Roos. Jeff Fisher, Coach of the Year. Going back through, here's the offensive rookies. McKenzie finished 4th in the AFC. See, I had switched it to just the AFC exclusively. Let's check on some of our guys. Chris Brown, his morale's down. I mean, trading him to Oakland, yeah, they're not good. And his numbers went down again. As you see, these are his numbers with us. And this is the last year of his contract. Same with Calico. So, if, breaking up the team, if that was something that maybe messed up the team chemistry, we might look to maybe bring these guys back. You never know. I mean, it's something to consider. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run. This is the Pro Bowl team. Drew Bennett getting his first Pro Bowl nod with us in this series, at least. So we had a fair amount of Pro Bowlers, I'd say. Pac-Man Joe's making it as a kick returner. Most of the time he's made it as a cornerback. I think in all the seasons he made it as a cornerback. Well, the year he got hurt, he didn't, because he had gotten knocked out for 3 months in season 2, getting tackled on that punt return. That was awful. But, yeah, I mean, the years he's made it as a DB, I believe, and this year he makes it as a kick returner. And he's been a good kick returner for us, for sure. So now looking at our balance sheet, we had pretty much $48 million of income this year. So we're doing good business. So that's good for the city of Nashville and the team and whatnot. So we got that Dick LeBeau's retiring. That old man decided he wants to hang it up. Mike Nolan retiring as well. I'm not cut out to be in the NFL, huh? Romeo Crennel, my son's high school, gave me an offer I couldn't resist. I don't know why they threw that quote in there, but whatever. So we need a head coach. I guess Jeff Fisher is walking. So I'm looking at head coaches right now. San Francisco, that's ironic. Mike Singletary is going to go be the head coach of the 49ers. That actually happened in real life. Marty Schottenheimer is going to the Patriots. Look at who Jeff Fisher is going to be the coach of the Saints. Crazy. So he gets a Super Bowl with us. He did get a Super Bowl with us. We at least accomplished that. So we finished the deal on that. But yeah, he was a head coach here for a lot of years. And so Jim Schwartz, if you remember, Jim Schwartz was originally going to be our head coach for season 2, but I wanted to keep Jeff Fisher. I wanted to get Jeff Fisher a Super Bowl. And Aaron Glenn, I think this is funny. Look at him. He was the defensive coordinator for the Colts, and he's trying to be a coach. He's trying to be a head coach 15 years before he actually ended up becoming one. So Mike McCarthy's going to be our offensive coordinator, but I think that's funny because Aaron Glenn in 2025 ends up becoming a head coach. Here in what is about to be 2010, he's trying to be a head coach. So, shoot, that's crazy. This guy, Davis, he's going to be our special teams coordinator. But I also think this is another thing that we can make it right. We got Jim Schwartz. You know, we let him walk instead of making him head coach. Norm Chow was our offensive coordinator originally. Bro went to the Jaguars. That's crazy work. Mike Zimmer, I don't know why he's been unemployed for so many years. I thought he was a good defensive coordinator with Dallas at times. At times, note I said that. And then even with the Bengals. And I thought for a minute he was a pretty good head coach with the Vikings. So we're going through some retired players here. But anyways, I was saying Jim Schwartz is our head coach. I like that, you know, based on our defense getting kind of cooked. I think we need that for our team. Dan Campbell's hanging it up. Maybe he'll go try to be a head coach one day as well. In this, we'll see. Time will tell. But, yeah, Jim Schwartz, I think that's what we need. Kevin Mawa, losing him, that's a big blow because that's a veteran, you know, a guy that's going to go on and be in the Hall of Fame probably. 2-time Pro Bowler for us in this series. Now, overall, you can go in and Google what the man did. He was a baller with the Jets and even with the Titans. He's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. So, yeah, I'm excited. And we got Eugene Amano, and he ended up taking over, I think, in real life. So I think Eugene Amano's going to do a good job. So Ty Law's hanging it up. Rondé Barber, Sean Springs, Nick Harper. We lose him. Pro Bowl guy came in and gave us 3 good years, just like in real life. He did. He got us 12 picks, 5 sacks, for sure. 2 Pro Bowl years. He should have made it last year, but he didn't because he missed some time. So it is what it is. But he gave us 3 good years, and that's what matters. And we took him from the Colts, too, just like in real life. So I thought that was cool that we could, you know, at least do that, keep that consistent. So we got some free agents right here, and we're going to end up bringing most of these guys back. But just taking a look at some of the names. So Brandon Marshall, I like what he's got going on, and he's a guy that I think we're going to give a larger role. We're going to ask him to do more. 26, I haven't broken him out as much as probably everybody would have liked, but I'm going to try to be better with that going forward. Andrew Walter, yeah, he gets a bad rap. He was not great in real life with the Raiders, so keep him around. I think he's a serviceable backup, you know. So keep him around. Keith Bullock, I don't want to let go. I'd like to let him stay and retire a Titan, to be honest. He's 33. He's still giving us some good football, so for sure. Kyle Vanden Bosch, we're going to keep him, too. We're going to end up trading his backup. Drew Bennett, definitely want to keep him around. He's not showing any signs of slowing down, hitting a Pro Bowl. Lendale White, this was an interesting one. This is going to be a prove-it year for him because he hasn't quite produced like I've wanted him to. Henry's getting older and slower, So I say we give Lendale White 1 year. We got Carter, obviously, we picked in the first round. So, yeah. And here's Travis Henry. What I'm going to show what he's done for us. He put up some really good numbers. Got going towards the end of the year, 900 yards. Ended up getting about like double-digit total touchdowns for us. And again, appreciate everything you've done for us, Travis, but we're going to move on. Same with Zach Pillar. We are going to try to do something with the defensive back room. So we're sending a 1 and a 2 in Martinez to the Cardinals for Antro Roll. We're sending Jeremy Thomas and Landon James, 2 picks from the same draft. We're sending them to the Bucks for a 3rd round pick. So, we got James in the 5th round, Thomas in the 2nd round. James, I could have gotten for a 3rd round pick or 4th round pick from some teams. So that's an upgrade. Chris Brown, we're going to submit the offer for him to come back. We want to bring you back, brother. And I'm looking at offensive lineman. Chris Dealman's the same overall as Pillar. He's younger. He's coming from the Chargers. So we know he can play. Blocking for LaDainian Tomlinson. LaDainian Tomlinson wasn't getting all those yards himself. So we're going to bring in Chris Dealman. Try to anchor that offensive line. Not that it was bad before, but we're letting Pillar walk. So, yeah, for sure. We let Hentrich go, so we're getting Donnie Jones, left-footed punter right here. And so we get Dealman and Jones. That's great. We're going to trade Jacob Bell because he's not playing. We'll give him an opportunity to go somewhere else and get a 2nd-round pick from the Giants. We do get Chris Brown back. There we go. The free agent period is ended. Eli staying with the Giants. Bolger to the Chargers, So they got 2 quarterbacks over there because they got Bannister over there. Chad Pennington to the Lions. Jake Plummer to the Jets. Larry Johnson's a Viking. LT's leaving the Chargers for the Eagles. Wow. Dominic Davis going to the Raiders, so we don't have to play him twice a year. Westbrook to the Chargers to replace LT. That's interesting. Look at some of the fullbacks. Cook going back to Tampa. Chris Chambers going to Buffalo. Larry Fitz to Tampa. Torrey Holt to Denver. Browns getting Wilford and Ashley Lilly. Jeremy Shockey to the Vikings. Crumpler to the Panthers. I'm trying to read these all, but I'm going a little too fast. If you want to look more in depth, you're more than welcome to, rewind this video at your own discretion and whatnot. Pillar's going to the Lions. So that's interesting. Will Shields and Marco Rivera going to the Colts. So the Colts trying to get that offensive line up the par and upgrade it so they can keep Peyton Manning, healthy. Julius Peppers to the Falcons is crazy. Michael Strahan to the Patriots. Mathis looks like he left to the Panthers. Dwight Freeney left, so we don't have to worry about him with the Colts. Thank the Lord. Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis leaving, so now Vince Young's definitely jumping up and down. He's excited about that. Those two used to chase after him all the time. Not that they gave us a hard time. I felt, we've had our success with the Colts, but man, Nick Barnett's coming to the Colts though. Larry Foote staying with the Steelers. Let's see anything else interesting. The Colts are getting Ike Taylor, Chris McAllister to the Patriots. Rasheed Mathis jumping in the division to the Texans. Interesting. Ed Reed's going to the Chargers. Keel to the Colts. Mike Doss going to Denver. So, yeah, we got some guys moving around now. It looks like a lot of kickers that were free agents. See if Craig Hentrich signed with anybody. Because he was getting up there in age, so I figured let's just get a new punter at this point if he's not going to retire. That's what happened. They let Hentrich retire.